This is my third time trying to record this video because I keep making adjustments to my list, and also cars keep driving past my window, which I don't think you can hear and I don't think you care, but I hear it and I care. I'm just gonna let everything go now. I've got a list here and I'm gonna just talk about it, and I'm not gonna I'm gonna add a game right now. There we go. Okay, so this is my personal top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 games there, but I've got honorable mentions. So these are my top 9 plus other games ever made, in my opinion. I'm gonna start off with criteria, you know, what makes a game make it into this video. First of all, it's gotta be good, right? That's a big one. It's gotta have stuck in my memory, you know, it's gotta be memorable. It's gotta have solid gameplay. Good music is a big factor for me. I love music. Story that I care about is a big one. And just whether or not it doesn't suck. And also, would I play it right now? That's the one that kind of like makes this so subject to change, because I could very well not want to play this game anymore in a month. So this is an ever-evolving list, but I just want to put my feelings out there right now because I think it's interesting hearing other people's favorite games. I like talking about them. So fuck it, here we go. This is my current list, starting with honorable mentions. Actually no, starting with probably on the list but haven't played. Lies of P and Black Myth Wukong. I haven't played those games yet, but when I do, they're probably going to be in my top 10. I can feel it, but I haven't played them because I'm broke. Now moving on to honorable mentions. Here we go. First one is Smite. I want to get this one out the way because this is my most played game, I think. I've got somewhere around 4,000 hours in Smite. Would I get on and play the game right now? If the right person asked me to, maybe. But the way it is now versus the way it was when I loved playing it, very different, but I can't deny what Smite has given to me. It was the game that I streamed for a very long time. It was the game that, you know, I've had countless hours of laughing with people, and I did enjoy the game, you know, at one point it was very fun. So I'm gonna mention Smite, but I don't want to fucking play that game anymore, so rip. Second honorable mention, because it's fresh on my mind, is Perennial Order. That is a game where you're a plant, and it's really good. Me and Myth played it like 2 weeks ago. I think it took about 7 hours to complete that game, but it was really fucking good, and I was not expecting anything nearly as fun as I got, and I'm just very impressed with it. And the devs, there were like 4 devs, they're all very cool, and I think they did a fucking great job. And the reason it doesn't make it into my top 10 is because I've only played it once. It was very recent. I would 100% play it again. I would play it again right now if I wanted to, but yeah, I just need to play it more before I'm like, oh hell yeah, this is up there, you know. But very impressed with that game. It's just a really simple, really fun boss rush. The bosses are all very good, and I recommend that game. So if you haven't heard of it, go play it, or at least go watch the video of it, because it's a good video. Perennial Order, that is honorable mention there. What was the next one? Oh. Escape from Tarkov. Now this game is it's difficult to place this game. I want to make a whole separate video about it, to be honest, but I love Escape from Tarkov, but it has so many like critical issues. It is like a really hot, sexy lady that has been stabbed multiple times and is profusely bleeding and dying. You know what I'm saying? I really like that game, but it runs like shit. Loading is, you spend too much time loading, spend too much time. It's just like a massive time sink, and it is completely inaccessible. It's one of the most frustrating games ever made. Doing the quests and shit, it's great if you're a streamer and like, you know, you fucking know everything because you've got a million hours in the game, it's great. But if you're getting into the game, even me, I've got like 1,000 hours almost, no? I've got like 700 hours, I think. I still have to Google everything. It's really frustrating. I have so many problems with that game, but still, at its core, I like it when it's running above 10 FPS. I want to mention that because it's still a game I actively play, and I do like it. Playing it with a friend is much better than playing it solo, but I've played it like 99% solo. I need help. I wanted to mention it because it's a fun game. I like it a lot. It's just like something that I can get on and just have a good time with whenever I want, and I like it. But it needs some work. On to the next one now. This one might hurt some of your feelings a little bit, but according to my exes, I'm good at that, so fuck it. Dark Souls 3 barely doesn't make my top 10 because, hear me out, it's a fantastic game. I love that game. But Deacons of the Deep, the fucking wizard guy, what's his name? I don't know, wizard guy. Tree with balls. After you kill Vort and up until you meet Pontiff, that section of the game is so weak to me. Besides Abyss Watchers, I love Abyss Watchers, but there is such a large like chunk of the first half of the game that is so boring and annoying to me that I honestly cannot sit here and pretend that I want to play Dark Souls 3 right now, because I don't. I love Pontiff, I love Aldrich, I'll take it. I love Osiris, Nameless King, Twin Princes, Dragon Slayer, Armored Guy. The DLC is fucking great. All of like the second half of the game, I love that shit, but getting there is so painful to me. It is so boring. I really wanted to put it in my top 10, and I probably would on a different day, but today I'm just gonna honorable mention it. It's a fucking great game, but there is so much of it that I have an issue with that I don't care, by the way. Fuck you if you're mad. Fuck you. I think Dark Souls in general, while I haven't played 2 yet, but I know a lot of people don't like 2. Dark Souls in general is very overrated. I still enjoy it, but I'm allowed to think that. I think Dark Souls is so much more fun to talk about than it is to actually play. And that's the T, sis. Anyway, I love that game, but fuck it. What's next? Borderlands 2. Good game. I wish Borderlands 2 had Borderlands 3's gameplay. That's my issue, is that like, after playing 3, and after having played 2 so many times, I can't enjoy it the same way anymore. But I love that game. It was one of my favorite FPS growing up. Big fan. Played it a lot. Can't enjoy it the same way, but I still like, it's still up there in my favorite games. And absolutely, if I had 3 friends that were like, oh, you want to play Borderlands 2? I'd be like, yeah! I would absolutely love to play that game again with some people, and I probably will again in the future. It's a great game. The writing, I know, can be cringe. That's okay. Let me enjoy things. Next up, we got Norablade Point. Now, this one, I just wanted to quickly mention this one because it's good. It is my favorite battle royale, I think. I've played like 1,000 hours of PUBG, and let's see how many hours I have in Naraka. 70. I have 70 hours in Naraka, and I think I enjoyed more of Naraka than I did PUBG. I do really like PUBG, that's up there in my VRs, but like, it's just the issue with VR games is they're so repetitive. They get so dull sometimes, and also the bot issue. Naraka now is just full of bots every game. And it's just like, I can't get on and play that game and enjoy it the same way I did when it came out. But when it came out, it was my favorite BR game, like hands down. The combat was fucking sick. The map was really cool, and just everything about it, I just loved it. Except the fact that half the players are like these fucking Chinese gods who hack, or they're just like, their ping is so mental, you cannot. What am I saying? Norablade Point, really fun BR game when I played it, and I wanted to mention it here because it was my favorite BR. So there's that. There's also Cry of Fear. That is one of my favorite horror games. Now, again, I feel like my honorable mentions are just so like, I love these games, but I have problems with them. Except Perennial Order. That one is in my honorable mentions because I haven't played it that much. But Cry of Fear, I love that game. It's one of my favorite horror games, like I just said. And I can acknowledge all of the jank and all of the... some of the backtracking is annoying. Every flaw that people say the game has, I agree. But that game just has so much like charm to me, being made by like 2 guys, and the sound design, just like something about Cry of Fear, man. It just got like aura, you know. It's got that this is a mod made by a couple of guys for fun vibe, but that like Silent Hill inspired old ass game with the fuzzy sound effects and the shitty like mixing and all that shit. Like I love that kind of thing. It is just so like, I can forgive it, you know? I can be like, yeah, you know what? This part of the game is a little bad, but fuck it. Sometimes I force my friends to play it because I have autism and I need them to enjoy the things I enjoy the way I enjoy them, otherwise I don't like them. And like all the time I find myself wanting to replay it. Like right now talking about it, I'm like, fuck, I wanna replay it, you know? But I won't, but I probably will. Anyway, that is one of my favorite horror games, just like off the top of my head. So I'm gonna mention Cry of Fear, good ass game. Risk of Rain 2, my next honorable mention. That game is good. That's like my go-to Bing chilling game, you know? I just want to like sit down and play a game. Risk of Rain 2 was like the one that I would open, you know? I like that game a lot. Had a lot of good times on that one. Not really much to say about it. It's just like a roguelite. And it's good. The music is great. The gameplay is good. Loader is like fun as shit. Mercenary is fun as fuck. Loader is literally just the Attack on Titan guy. And I like Attack on Titan, if you didn't know. That is a good ass game, and I will continue to play that every now and then for a long time. So Risk of Rain 2, good game. These next 2, I love them. Next 3, actually, I'm gonna add another one here. Prince of Persia, the trilogy. I like the 4th game. Don't at the 4th game. I like the 4th game. Do not at me. I don't think it's that bad. It's got problems, but the Prince of Persia 4-ilogy, the Jack trilogy, and Modern Warfare 2. I'm gonna put these in a little box here called the Nostalgia box. These are some of my favorite games, but I acknowledge that my nostalgia is like the main reason, the main like driving force for why I love those games so much. Prince of Persia has flaws. It runs like shit on PC. You need to like commit a crime to get the controller to work on Steam. Jack has some design issues, you know, and Modern Warfare 2, you just can't play that game anymore. So like, I love those games. They're some of my favorite games, but yeah, nostalgia, I'm not gonna pretend that they're like fantastic now, because nostalgia is a thing and I will acknowledge that. So those are my honorable mentions: Smite, Perennial Order, Escape from Tarkov, Dark Souls 3, Borderlands 2, Norablade Point, Cry of Fear, Risk of Rain, Prince of Persia, Jack, MW2. There's more mentions than there are games. But here we go. Wait, how many games are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 games. Like I said, these are majorly subject to change, whether it be order or whether it be I don't want to play this game anymore ever again, you know. But I think this is pretty solid. I love these games. They've all got like similar reasons for being there, and I'm gonna keep them there for now and talk about them. So the first game is this one. I just realized I don't know how I'm gonna edit this, so I don't know if I'm gonna say the name of it. It's Far Cry 3. I really like Far Cry 3. That game also has a lot of nostalgia for me, but it's not so much that like I would get on and play Far Cry 3 right now. I've played it 2 years ago. I played it and like showed my girlfriend the game because she was like, yo, what am I saying? I like Far Cry 3, while Far Cry 4 definitely has better gameplay because it just like built on top of what Far Cry 3 did. I never got into 4 the same way because I don't know, it's just something about Far Cry 3, like the island, the vibe, you know, it was so like, when it came out in 2012, it was so impressive when the game came out, and the music was fucking incredible. It's just like the most beautiful shit ever made for no reason. The hunting and shit was fun, like watching all the animals like eat each other and shit was fucking awesome. The AI was like interesting at the time. Raiding the outposts was just like some of the most fun shit of all time. Like stealthing, the game made stealth fun, and it made like fucking up stealth and having everyone suddenly shooting at you. That was like some of the most fun part of the game, was fucking stealth up. The story, pretty good. It definitely trails off at the end once you reach the second island, but it's not that bad, you know. Definitely people definitely overstate how bad it gets after Voss, you know, but I think it's good. I think it's a very good game. The music has really stayed with me, and I would absolutely play that game again right now just for funsies. So I'm gonna put it there because it's really good. Kind of like this next game, if you catch my drift. Nioh 2 is another of one of my favorite games that I've played with Myth. I absolutely would get on and play that game again right now if somebody wanted to. Again, music, fucking incredible for that game. The bosses are just, how many of them are there? I think in my head right now I can count about 4 trillion. That game took about 30 hours for me and Myth to beat. And we didn't even do any of the side missions at all, I don't think. We rushed the main story. We were like 40 levels below the thing we were doing all the time. But yeah, we rushed the main game. And it was just like one of the most fun games I've played, to be honest. Some of the levels were a little frustrating, but that comes with, you know, the genre of being a Souls-like. Naturally, it's gonna have some frustrations with it, that's okay. But I never found it more frustrating than I did find it fun. And also, I don't know, I just kind of don't get mad at games, you know? So many people are like, oh man, this game is pissing me off, and I'm like, okay, why don't you just like smile and laugh though, you know? It's just kind of more fun to enjoy a game like Nioh, you know? If I fall off a cliff, I'm not gonna be like, ah! It's funny, you know? Fuck it, fuck you. I love Nioh 2. The combat is really, really fun. The weapon variety is cool as fuck, and all the combos and shit you can do is great. It's definitely a little overwhelming. I can acknowledge that you get a lot of loot all the time. It does that thing where it just gives you constant shit. And like, it can get a bit much. There's a lot of mechanics that you have to get used to. It does demand a lot from you as the player, but I don't know. It's just a solid co-op, actual like good co-op Souls-like. And it's one of my favorite Souls-likes, and it's up there in some of my favorite games. So that's Nioh 2. Did I mention I like the bosses? I like the bosses. The cat lady with the fucking massive badoinkers and the wheels and shit. She's cool. Just saying. The like mink guy. I don't even know what the fuck that guy's supposed to be, but the mink guy is cool as fuck. The demon. There's like 1,000 demons in the game, but like, yeah, those guys are cool. The voice acting is really good. And it's just a good game, so I'll leave it at that. If you haven't played Nioh 2, which you probably haven't because you're dumb, I think you should play that game with a friend of yours. Maybe even 2. The game is 3 players, so get 2 of your friends and play that game because I recommend it. And go listen to the music because it's well done. What is my next game? Ooh, interesting one here. For Honor is a game I feel like no one talks about anymore because Ubisoft, being Ubisoft, fumbled the launch of that game so bad, and it like really hurt the game's reputation, sadly. But I don't even care. That game, okay, it has issues. We all know that. Some of the characters, most of the characters are so fucking annoying to fight, but I don't care. That game has like it has me by the balls because the core gameplay, the core combat system is one of my favorite combat systems in a game. I think it is just up there in fun shit to play, in my opinion. I love the combat system. It's really well done. It's like all the mind gaming you can do depending on the character that you play. It's just like the one-to-one combat, like all the extra game modes and shit, I just brush them to the side, man. I don't want to play Breach. I don't want to play fucking arcade. Single player, get out of here, you know? I just, the duel and the brawl is like the most fun shit to me. Just getting a friend and 2v2ing some guys. It's just so fun to me. Like, I'm a Berserker main, just saying. Hate me if you may. I don't know, people have issues with Berserker. I don't think Berserker's that good, to be honest. It's kind of just a skill issue on on your part if you get pissed off by Berserker. But who else do I play? I play Nobushi as of recently. Nobushi's kind of she's also kind of bad, but like she's also really annoying. I always forget the name of that one character I play. But yeah, Berserker and Nobushi, I love those characters. They're very fun. I like Kenshi. Kenshi? Am I crazy? I don't remember the names of the characters. Kensei. Am I stupid? Kensei. I like Kensei. I like the Chinese one. The one who carries his sword like this. Well, I don't know why he does that, and I forgot his name. There are a lot of characters that are very fun to play, very intricate to learn. But it's just a solid ass, like, basically a fighting game, but also kind of not. It like borders on being a fighting game. I just love the core combat system in that game so much that I just get on and play it still to this day. It's been 7 years since the launch. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, I don't know. For Honor, just a game that stuck with me because I like the gameplay. So that's a quick rundown of that. What is the next game though? I'm about to tell you what the next game is. I wonder what this game could be. It's fucking Skyrim, man. I don't know. When I was a kid, I used to say, well, teenager, I used to say Skyrim was my favorite game. That was like, whenever someone asked me that, I was always like, Skyrim. Like, that was just the game that I would say, because at the time I didn't have that many other games to compare it to. But that game has just always had a special place in my heart and balls, because, I don't know, man. It's just good. It's just good. It came out when I was 10 years old, and it was one of the first like worlds that I remember being interested in, being engaged with, all the way that the characters spoke with the fucking, where in oblivion are we supposed to go? Where's the way out? I don't know, man. I just the dialogue in the game, I fell in love with it when I was younger. I really enjoyed it. The quests, yeah, I mean, it's just a vibe, man. It's just a vibe. If you ignore the fact that the gameplay is weak, it's not bad, it's weak. If you ignore that, and obviously, yeah, the game could be more open. It could let you kill more characters. It could let you give you more dialogue options and shit like that. It is a very simple RPG. I understand all the criticisms. They're fine. I will allow them. But it's one of those games where if you just shut up, and if you just feel the vibe of the game, you just get in and play it. Yeah, it's all very dumbed down. Yeah, it's got problems. It's fine. But I don't know. It's just one of those games. The music just is... I think Skyrim has objectively one of the best soundtracks to a game of all time. I don't think you can argue about how good Skyrim OST is. I still listen to that shit to this day. As we were building this wardrobe and shit, I was listening to the Skyrim OST. And did I just say wardrobe? That's a bookshelf. There's a wardrobe over there. Whatever. Skyrim OST, just, I will always listen to that. It's one of my favorite OSTs ever made. The gameplay itself, I like it. I think it's fun. I think the world is very interesting. I think you can get lost in it. The quests are good. And it's just one of those games where I can't imagine what the world would look like if it didn't exist. So, Skyrim, it's up there for me. I literally started playing it on stream last night. Twitch.tv/MayTheGhoul, by the way, just saying, I stream. But yeah, I started a new character last night just because I felt like chilling on a game, and I started playing Skyrim. So maybe I'll continue doing that. But yeah, that's just a game that always has a special place for me, and I like it a lot. Kind of like this next game. Holonight is a really good game. It's just fucking good, you know? Solid. Gameplay is absolutely solid. The bosses are all very good. Who's my favorite boss? I've always, like, debated in my head who my favorite boss is. I think Nightmare King Grim is just, like, irrefutably one of the best ones. So I'm gonna say Nightmare King Grim, but I also like Lost Kin, or whatever the dream version of that guy is. I think it's Lost Kin is the name. I like that guy. I like all the other guys as well. To be honest, I kind of like everything about the game. It's really good. I do have an issue with the game. I think they should just let you teleport between benches. I think that would fix a lot of my problem with the game, which is that navigating late game gets really boring. A lot of the game is like the mystery of not knowing where the fuck you are half the time. It's difficult to navigate the world, and like, that's fine. Discovering places, discovering secrets, that's a big part of the early game. And the game throughout, you know, there's a lot of things that are hidden, there's a lot of things you can miss. There's a lot of mystery to the game and uncovering stuff and piecing the stuff together. It's a big part of the enjoyment of the game, but it's also a big... it's a big problem for a lot of people. I've seen a lot of people play the game who just are not interested in being lost at all. You're gonna get lost in that game. You're gonna struggle to navigate sometimes. That's part of the game, sadly. I do think that, yeah, the traversal could be better, you know? You do have the tramway and shit, and you do have the stag. For me, that's not enough. I think they should just let you TP between benches, to be honest. That would just like make the game so much more of a less of a waste of time. It would save you a lot of time, which I think would be necessary to make the game a lot better. But everything else in the game besides that one thing that bothers me a little bit is fucking fantastic. The platforming segments are really fun. The bosses, like I said, are good. The vibe, the music, it's all great. Yeah, the way the game looks is iconic. I even have a tattoo where there he is. It's the little sprite of him just like standing there looking up. I like the guy. I like the game. And my Holonight series, which is on my channel, you should go watch it. It's one of my favorite things that I've made. That Holonight series is up there in things that I'm proud of. So go watch that if you haven't. There's also like the true final boss of the game. I never fought that because I couldn't be bothered to go through all the bullshit that you have to do to get to him. But one day maybe, but I just can't be asked. That's the one part of the game where I feel like I missed out on that boss. But it's just too much to ask of me to get there. So that's the one thing I can't speak on. But the rest of the game, it's great. Good ass game, very fun. Silk Song. I think they should make a sequel called Silk Song. That's my idea. I don't know. They probably haven't thought of that, but what am I saying? Let's go to the next game. I feel like I've said everything I need to say about Holonight. You probably already know that game's good, you know, so that's that. This next game might be controversial, but we're gonna go to it now. Overwatch is one of those games where I think people need to just shut the fuck up a little bit. I struggled putting For Honor and Overwatch on this list because they're multiplayer and because they're so subject to change all the time, meta, all that shit, all this shit they can add and take away that makes the game better and worse. I didn't specify Overwatch 2 here because Overwatch 1 and 2 basically the same. It depends how much you care. But to me, Overwatch from 2016 until now is one of my favorite FPS games. I love that game. The core gameplay is just fucking great. The animations are just great. They've trailed off a bit, but like when Overwatch launched in 2016, I think that was about as close to world peace as we got. I remember just everyone loved that game. Maybe you didn't. Fuck you. You know, just gonna ruin it. But everyone loved Overwatch. There was also Pokemon Go that year. Everyone was just having a great year, you know? And then afterwards we were like, oh, 2016 was the worst year ever made. Shut up, man. Overwatch was fun as fuck when it came out. It was great. And it kept being great. There were definitely some metas that were annoying. You know, some characters are annoying. Sombra, Doomfist, you know, like right now, there are a lot of characters in the game that are annoying as fuck to play against. I get it, that's fine. But I think if you really hate Overwatch, you're a bitch. You don't have to like the game, but like people who are like, I used to love it, but then Overwatch 2 came out. Shut up, man. 6v6 wasn't that fun. I don't want to go against a Zarya, a Roadhog, and a Reinhardt again, to be honest. What am I saying? Look, okay, I love Overwatch. I think it's just a really solid game, really fun. The characters are all very, very fun to play. They're all very interesting. It's one of the only games where like For Honor, for example, I stick to like 5 main characters. In Overwatch, there are like 5 characters that I avoid. And then the rest of them, I play all of them. I know how to play all of them. I love the characters in that game. And I think the gameplay is just so solid. Yes, it has issues, but I don't care. I think Overwatch is just fun as fuck. It'll always be a game that I'll just get on and play and just have a good time, especially with friends. And I don't play ranked. Maybe that's why a lot of you hate the game, because you play ranked and you care too much about video games because you're a pussy ass bitch and you get mad at numbers and figures and pixels and shit, and you're a horrible racist, sexist person. Now, a lot of the Overwatch player base is really fucking annoying and I hate it, and I'm sure you can tell. But the game itself, I love it. And it's very fun. And please revert Roadhog back to how he was at launch, and I'll be happy again. Thank you. On to the next game. We're in top 3 now. Top 3 of my favorite games ever made. Starting with this one. Ghost of Tsushima. It is just a fucking phenomenal game. It is like as close to perfect as a game needs to get for me, to be honest. I don't think I have a single issue with it. Do I have an issue with Ghost of Tsushima? I don't think I do. I mean, it oozes style. It is a swag game. Just everything about it, man. The story is good. I don't know what else to say. I'm not some like media critic, you know, but the story is just like really, really well done. It is solid. It is impactful and emotional and fucking badass as shit half the time. And the characters, I think, are all very grounded, very believable, but very, very well done. Some people think the main character is boring. I think you need to go back to school. Jin is one of my favorite main characters, I think, just because he's just a fucking beast. Just like the idea of having a samurai that's trained to control his emotions, or be a guy with like anger issues who can't control his emotions half the time. I just think that's like such an interesting thing to put on your main character, and like watching him struggle throughout the story to do what's necessary but like not want to because he's been taught not to and shit like that. Like, I don't know, man. He's just a fucking great MC. I love him a lot. All the other characters, very strong. The side quests, I'll actually do the side quests, you know? In a lot of open world games, I can't be fucking bothered to do the side quests because they're boring as shit. But the open world of Ghost of Tsushima, while, yeah, definitely like being an open world game is probably its like worst feature, asset, what am I saying? It's probably the weakest part of the game when you're like, oh, I can't be asked to go over there and do this, you know? But I don't know, just like going, petting some foxes, going and doing a fucking sitting in the bath, looking at Jin's ass, the bamboo strikes, and making haikus and shit. All this like really cool stuff that I think is just so cool that even if it is repetitive sometimes, I don't care. It's just cool. And the gameplay, oh my god. The gameplay is so fucking fun. It is so fun, and on higher difficulties, it is fucking intense. It is difficult as well, because Ghost of Tsushima does a thing that not a lot of other games do, where it throws a fuck ton of enemies at you. I am so sick of games that have combat in them being too afraid to give you a fuck ton of enemies. It pisses me off. When I play a game like The Last of Us, I like that game by the way, that almost made it to honorable mentions. When I play a game like that, I want hella gunfights, but they're so scared to give loads of enemies at you that I'm just like, fuck! I just want to fight some guys, you know? When I play Ghost of Tsushima, I want to fight some fucking guys, and that game gives you so many guys to fight. So many unique stances for different enemy weapon types. You have all these like tools like kunai, like, and like just so much fun shit. The stealth is also fun, and it's kind of just like Far Cry 3 with swords. I don't want to be the guy to say that, but it's, you know, that kind of game, but just made very, very, very fun with the combat, and very stylish with the swag, and story is fucking incredible. The voice acting and the acting in general, the facial capture and shit, very, very, very good. The music, like I said, is incredible. Just the whole vibe of the game is fucking great, and I love it. It's definitely deserving my top 3 favorite games, I think. And I haven't even played what is it, a DLC or an expansion? I don't even know, but they added some other shit to the game. I haven't even played that yet. I need to play that. Also, the multiplayer they added, which they didn't have to do. The game was fine on its own. It was a fantastic game, but they added all this extra cool shit that is really nice. The multiplayer was fun. I'm not gonna play it too much more in my life, I think, but like, you know, it was a good solid run through. And yeah, I don't know, that's just one of the games that has stuck with me. I really like it, and I'm very excited for Ghost of Yotai. I don't know how to pronounce that. Probably Yotai. We'll see when it comes out. But I love Ghost of Tsushima. It's a very good game, and if you haven't played it, on to the second game, which was a really difficult choice for me, but there was something that tipped number 1 to number 1 for me. So my second favorite game, I think these two are solid. I don't think they're ever going to change. So second favorite game is Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Oh my god. It is just fucking phenomenal, man. On every level. It is incredible. Like, I can't believe that game exists, to be honest. Bosses are incredible. The music is incredible. We expect no less from Software at this point. Sekiro really stands out to me though as being like, you can feel that they really cared about this game. They really put a lot of passion into it. Like all the Japanese shit, because they're Japanese devs. They were like, this game right here, we want to make this one, and I can feel that, and I love it. It is a difficult game. It's not as difficult as some people say, but that's my opinion. I love it. It is very fun. All the bosses are good, except one. We all know which boss that is. I don't need to say it. It's the double fight with the fucking Guardian Ape. I hate that shit. We all hate that shit. I wouldn't even hate it that much if it was a bigger arena, but it's not. It's fucking tiny. Like, it's like you're fighting them in my fucking bedroom. I don't like that fight, but everything else I have no issue with. I think it's a fantastic game. It's near perfect. Can be frustrating sometimes, but it's okay. It's a Souls-like, man. You just gotta get pissed off with it sometimes. That's just part of the whole thing. It's just great, man. And the final boss is just fucking incredible. Just a whole ass good game right there. I don't even need to say much more about it. If you haven't played it, please play it. I love it. And if you have played it, good job, man. You're officially a cool guy. That used to be my number 1 favorite game ever made, but it has been recently dethroned by It's fucking Elden Ring. It's Elden Ring. Look, the DLC came out a couple months ago. I still need to make that video, by the way. I will do that. But the DLC has tipped Elden Ring over Sekiro for me, I think, because it is so good. The DLC was so fucking solid. And again, Elden Ring did not need a DLC full stop. It was already perfectly fine. But the DLC added so much. It's just content. The bosses of the DLC are like... The worst boss of Elden Ring DLC is like still better than every boss in every other game ever made. The level of quality that From Software is at now is insane. And yeah, the DLC was hard. We all struggled, but we all got there in the end. And I don't know, man. Elden Ring is just always gonna be there for me as one of my favorite games. I think it's so much put into it. The music, some of the best fucking music I've ever heard, full stop, to be honest. The open world, hey look, you can have your issues with it, that's okay. I think it's really well done, and especially like given all the mods and shit, the capabilities of how fun like randomizers get, that's great. Obviously that's not part of the core game, but that's always gonna be there. Yeah, I just think the game is solid. The variety in the builds that you can do is just so fun. The game is so replayable. Some of the bosses, like I said, it's just some of the best bosses I've ever fought. Moog was like my favorite boss in any Souls game of all time when that game came out. But then, like I said, the DLC added so much shit. I fucking love the DLC, and I love the game. I'm just kind of gushing about it. The story of Elden Ring and Sekiro, I forgot to mention this in Sekiro. I really like the story, of course, the voice acting. I'm not gonna sit there and pretend I know what the fuck is going on in Elden Ring, because I don't. But it's one of those where like, you don't have to care, it's just cool. It's just cool as shit. And I do like delving into the story every now and then. There's like infinite room for speculation and all that shit. It's all very interesting. And like reading all the item descriptions and all that shit, and like if you want to care about the story you can, and it gives you a lot to work with. Even though I do wish the stories of these games were a little more like told to you, you know, the cutscenes are all very cryptic. That's okay, it's a part of the appeal, but it would be nice if they were a little bit like, you know, gave you a little bit more to eat if you didn't like want to do a whole lot of homework, you know. What am I saying? I like Elden Ring. I think it's fucking great. It's definitely got issues. It definitely doesn't have as many issues as people like to say, though, because gamers like to complain, I've noticed. A lot of gamers like to be like, the open world is bad. They repeat the same boss like 1 trillion times. And I'm like, okay, but the game has like 4 million unique bosses. So, anyway, I think that concludes my video. I'm going to leave it at that. It's a good list, yes? You like my list? I hope you do. And I don't care if you don't. Those are my games right now. Like I said, subject to change. I still need to play Black Myth Wukong. Still need to play Lies of P. I will play those. I feel like Black Myth Wukong, from what I've seen in gameplay, I feel like it's probably going to be in my top 10. But I haven't played it yet because I have no money. Fuck yeah, boys. Hope you enjoyed that. Discuss your favorite games in the comments. I would like to tell you how wrong you are. No, but seriously, I do like to discuss some good ass games, so go down there, let me know your favorite games if you have them, or if you don't, then don't. And if you hate me for mine, let me know and I'll debate you on the internet. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there. That good talk. Hit up the links in the description. I can't do this YouTube thing, man. I'll see you later. Hope you enjoy.